You cannot apply more grace to your system than the world's going to apply to you. It can't happen.
I think that right there is the key.
Yeah. We live in reality whether or not we want to or not. Hype or legit? Game-changing or garbage?
This is What's Hot and What's Not, where we put today's biggest self-help trends under the microscope.
All right, let's break this one down. All right, what's hot and what's not?
Today, we're talking about Ozempic and GLP-1s. Are they hot or not?
Personal opinion, I think they're fantastic for specific people at specific dosages for a specific amount of time. Anything that's going to help somebody that's morbidly obese get off the couch, that can't regularly work out because they're too heavy, whatever reason they're there, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think we live in a very convenience-based environment that has produced a lot of really bad outcomes for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So if it's going to help you get in the gym, it's going to help you start healthy habits, it's going to help curb that appetite a little bit. So maybe you can regulate your intake for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months and just get used to it, then wean yourself off. Excellent. Now, the reality behind the situation is a lot of people take it at a volume that is absolutely ridiculous for an extended amount of time, have no nutritional basis behind that, and are essentially killing themselves.
Yeah.
It will make you not hungry. It will convince you that you don't need food, and your body will slowly and then more aggressively fall apart, and you're toast. So
yeah, I think I had a hard line in the sand on this one and was totally against them just because I felt like it was kind of a cop-out or a cheat for doing the work. Mm-hmm. I will say that I listened to Dr. Mark Hyman had a podcast episode on Ozempic and GLP-1s and semaglutides. And I listened to that episode and they had somebody on there who was also same position, hard line in the sand, very anti. And then they had another holistic doctor who was leveraging the GLP-1s in a more intentional manner, like you're talking about. And what she stated was that most of the doctors who are prescribing the GLP-1s are doing so at a much higher dosage than what is really safe or good for the body to digest, because this is a natural peptide found in the body, which I didn't realize until listening to that episode. But the danger is that if you take a dosage that's too high, it's going to actually start to eat away at your muscle.
well, that's just the natural process of being underfed.
Yeah.
So your body will start to eat itself. Yes, you're going to lose a lot of weight, but what weight are you losing, first off? And then what's the snapback, the rubber band effect at the end? So high dosage of anything has a massive rubber band effect.
Yeah.
So I think it's fantastic if it comes with a very small dosage and a nutrition program that is specific to the outcomes, specific to your needs, and what you do every day. So I think it's great if it's used correctly in that manner. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't use it in that manner.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see massive health issues. We're going to have a lot of heart attacks, a lot of strokes, a whole lot of health issues come out of that.
Yeah. So we think GLP-1s are hot.
Yeah.
But also not in certain situations.
Yeah. Situationally hot, situationally not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go. Do your own research. Reach out to us if you have questions.
Yep. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kiley.
Welcome to the 1%, where small shifts create big wins.
We're redefining resilience for high performers, 1% at a time, so you can keep advancing, no matter what. All right, so today's conversation is all about not lying to ourselves.
Yes, not lying to yourself. This is the biggest problem when it comes to the fitness industry. It's also, I think, the biggest problem when it comes to self-development. We tend to take the easy way out because we find excuses for why you're better than X, Y, and Z, or a whole group of people, or millions of people, or why it's better if you do less. We can always find reasons to talk ourselves out of things. And I think it's less of a I'm talking myself out of it and more of a I'm lying to myself. So...
Well, and I can think back to, because, I mean, we're all guilty of this. You can be the highest performer in your field or industry or profession and still be guilty of lying to yourself. I think the biggest thing that I have struggled with in my own journey of self-development is lying to myself about my nutrition and my physical activity levels.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like something I've been working at for, gosh, dang near 2 decades now. But the reality of the situation is that me thinking in my head, oh, I don't eat that bad. I eat pretty healthy. When I actually break down what pretty healthy means,
yeah.
If I actually took an inventory and journaled my food for a week, I mean, how many meals in a week do I actually eat out?
Yeah.
I mean, this week alone, I ate out twice because of work obligations. So there's 2 meals right there. Of my 21 meals, that's 10% almost, that I'm not in control of the ingredients or the preparation or the quality of my food. I have some autonomy. I can choose to eat a healthier menu item available to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But at the end of the day, any meal that I'm eating out, I'm relinquishing control and visibility into my macros and the quality of ingredients. And you know, you do that enough times, or you just say, oh, well, I only eat out for lunch. Well, if I'm only eating out 5 lunches of my 21 meals in a week, that's a quarter. That's 25% now that you're eating out. And I had to get real honest with myself, because even then when I'm at home and let's say I don't have a meal prepped, I'm left to my own devices to choose food. And if I don't choose nutritious food, again, there's one more meal that's not in line with my goals. And so at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself and be real honest with yourself about your nutrition. And, you know, it's very easy to say, oh, well, you just got to live life. I've heard that one quite a bit. You just got to live life. You have to live life.
It's like the greatest marketing scheme ever to have just absolutely raped society. Treat yourself. Hey, girl, you did the laundry. Hey, girl, you washed your car. Hey, girl, you woke up in time. Hey, guy, you went to the gym once this week. It's okay if you go eat pizza. Like, what exactly are we telling ourselves? That we deserve convenience? We deserve happy food? You know, food that tastes good all the time? As opposed to, I don't know, deserving a healthy body, deserving the ability to work hard. I don't understand the lie, first off, because the lie is predicated on the concept that you deserve grace over everything to an unlimited amount. The problem is the world doesn't apply the same grace to you. You still have heart attacks, you still have diabetes, you still have the problems that you face because of your decisions. We just ignore that and say, oh, it's totally fine.
Well, our bodies are the receipt.
Yeah. That's why people can't lie to me. When they come to the gym and they're like, I've been following my diet. Like, no, you haven't. Well, 100% you haven't. And you can't lie to me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like strength training. Strength training, I think, is one of the coolest things to watch, because there's a difference between I'm tired and can't perform and I haven't done my fucking homework. I know immediately when I work with people if they've done their homework or not.
Yeah.
But I also think that we tend to find excuses as fast as possible to say, well, Johnny over here is only doing X amount of things and I'm doing 3 times as much. Awesome. Well, is he chasing the same goals you are?
Yeah.
Is he somebody you want to be like? Like, if he's nothing you want to be like, isn't chasing the same goals, doesn't look, act, and feel the way you want to feel, run the opposite direction. It should be a phenomenal barometer that you're doing the right thing, that you're doing 10x what that person is doing. Mm-hmm. That's great. Those people are in your life to show you what it looks like on the opposite end. So I think the lie is easy because we're fed the lie constantly.
Yeah. I mean, look at all of the temptation and just shit around us. Like, you can't go to a grocery store without being bombarded the moment you walk in with junk food. I mean, even at our favorite grocery store, the Harvest Market, which is relatively a healthy grocery store for the most part. You walk in and it's chips in the front walkway. As soon as you get in, you go through the produce section and they've got like bakery items and cookies and desserts right up front. I mean, you can't avoid the temptation, but what you can avoid is lying to yourself about why you deserve it or why you think it's okay to make an exception, because your exceptions then become the rules. They're no longer exceptions when they become more of the pie than not.
I think the best way to approach it is everything's an intentional action. So if I walk into the grocery store and I purchase the sugary cookies or I purchase the donuts, I'm making an intentional decision to eat that over something else. So it becomes less of a lie and more of I'm following through on this intentional action to do the lesser of two good things for me. I'm choosing the bad thing. And I think the thing that's really interesting is to look at, one, how we're marketed to. I was driving in the car the other day, I listen to the talk radio, like morning hosts on one of our local stations. I think they're pretty funny on my massive 3-minute drive in.
Your commute.
A commercial came on for a jewelry store, and the commercial was, look at everybody else living their life. You want to live a lavish lifestyle like them. You deserve this. Like, that's a fucking stone on a ring, man. You don't deserve shit. You don't deserve that. Like, and the whole thing was, you deserve it. You work hard. You earned this. You need this.
Well, I think that's the key, is like they fail to recognize the part where you have to earn it.
Yeah, because if you deserve it, that means you don't have to work for it, or you have already worked enough for said item and you deserve it now. At no point in time do you deserve anything other than death. You know, we don't deserve anything. Now we get the opportunity to work hard and acquire stuff. That's cool, but we don't deserve it.
Right.
And we're the richest nation 100-fold, and we don't deserve what we have currently. And it's really easy to lose sight of the awesome shit we have, but it's really, really easy to start lying to yourself and saying, I deserve to do less and acquire more.
Well, and here's the other part of this, just going back to the nutrition example. Eating healthy foods is not a punishment.
No.
Like,
no, it's not.
We have the luxury of having good, nutritious foods very accessible to us in our grocery stores. A lot of countries only have what they can grow or what the land can provide them.
Yeah.
In their vicinity, right? And so we have the luxury of eating nutritious foods.
Yeah. And finding out what they are. You have about 90% of us, probably more than that, have a smartphone or access to the internet in some capacity. Maybe you can find out. You just choose not to. You choose not to go down that rabbit hole. There's no way you walk into a grocery store and look at the things around you and decide one is better than the other. Well, we don't even have to get into the seed oils and reading the back of labels. There's no fucking way you pick up a bag of fucking Cheetos and go, this is a great health decision. This is not a great health decision. You just are choosing to lie to yourself about whether or not the convenience and the taste is better than. And it always ends up with, well, I worked hard this week. I deserve some Cheetos. All right, well, your heart doesn't, and neither does the system that you're taxing in order to make these things happen. But you know what? Fuck it, man. Cool. Go for it. Now the decision after this is, what do I do with the health complications that I have because I've been treating myself for 30 years? Just silly.
Yeah.
You cannot apply more grace to your system than the world's going to apply to you. It can't happen.
I think that right there is the key.
Yeah. We live in reality whether or not we want to or not.
Yeah. I mean, we are either choosing to be ignorant about the implications of our decisions, and you can apply this in other areas besides just nutrition. You think about it, like you could say, oh, AI is stupid, like AI is going to take over jobs, AI is terrible. You could say all of those things, but the reality of the situation is AI is here to stay and it is not going anywhere. We are never going to go backwards from this point forward. So you can continue to resist AI and then not leverage the benefits of it. It's like you can continue to resist eating nutritious foods and not leverage the benefits of it, or you could figure out how to get on board, how to start liking fruits and vegetables and great sources of protein and eggs and all of the things that we know help our bodies age well.
And who the hell told you that this life was supposed to be full of abundance and ease? Like, who fucking lied to you, man?
I mean, it can be, but you have to think. But
it's not all what I want all the time, easiest, tastiest stuff.
But the reality of the situation is everything is a trade-off. So your short-term decision could be a long-term compromise. Yeah. It's like the marshmallow experiment that they did with kids, like where they sat down kids and they said, hey, we'll give you one marshmallow now, or if you wait, 20 minutes, we'll give you 2 marshmallows. Yeah. And they found that the majority of kids would take the marshmallow now because they didn't want to wait for 2 later. That is exactly the scenario that we are faced with when we say, I want the Cheetos now because I don't want to actually fulfill my fitness goals later.
I think the harshest lie we tell ourselves is that this is just a part of getting old, or this is just natural. This is normal to start falling apart. This is normal to have knee problems at 40 years old. This is normal to have heart problems at 45. This is normal to have friends dying of heart attacks at 40 in their 50s. That's not normal. Those are byproducts of decisions that they made 20 years ago. The system is so fucking powerful, that it takes 20 plus years to kill you from only drinking Diet Mountain Dew or sodas or eating like crap. This system is so incredibly powerful, it can run on plastic and sugar water for 20 years before you have problems, which means you have this huge window of available time to fix it. You just have to start being honest with yourself, because we don't live in the world or the time that it's a absence of information age. I remember being a child in the 90s and you just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like I remember when like Dateline would come out with things and my parents would watch it and they're like, oh my God, turns out red dye number whatever is actually really bad for you.
Duh.
You just didn't know. You didn't have the data. I remember when we had Encyclopedia Britannica on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awesome that books like encyclopedias were on the internet.
Yeah.
You didn't vet the knowledge. You didn't ask questions. You just read the data and that was it. That was your only source of information. Now you have literally billions of articles on things and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people you can vet things through. And we know now. So you don't have an excuse. You literally are making up the excuse or lying to yourself.
I know. And we do it. I mean, you gotta, I think, understand that you are not your thoughts, and your thoughts are the things that are driving you to make these decisions, right? Like just the other day, I was coming back home from downtown long work day, came home. I mean, I wasn't going to get up here until about 6 o'clock. And I had mentally decided in my head, I'm so tired. It's too late to work out. And I'm just going to go home, make dinner, and go to bed early tonight. Skip my workout. And I texted you, told you I was on my way home, and you were like, oh, I'm getting ready to come back and lift. I was like, son of a biscuit. If you're going to go work out, I'm going to be at home by myself while you're working out, when I should be working out.
Seems awfully silly to not work out.
I know. And now I'm not even going to get to hang out with you because I thought you were done working and we're going to be home. And, you know, I didn't want to work out because then I was going to give up time hanging out with you. And so in my head, I mentally decided working out is going to be too much of an inconvenience tonight. And you said, I'm going to go lift. And I was like, shit. I am too.
You just get to create the world you want to live in.
Well, and again, it goes back to, like, you have to have strong people in your life who are doing the things and a step ahead of you in those areas that you're trying to grow and develop in. I can honestly say, if you were not in my life and I didn't have you as a factor in my decision making, I would have gone home. My ego would have said, you deserve a break. You worked hard all day. Working out is just one more thing for you to do. And then by the time you get home and cook dinner, I mean, you're not going to go to bed until 10 o'clock. And you've got to get up early. You've got to get up at 5:15 tomorrow. You really should just go home and eat dinner and go to sleep and get a good night's rest.
Which isn't necessarily bad. And there's plenty of times that I'm like, fuck it, man. I just said, this day rocked me.
Yeah.
You know? But again, the system doesn't operate on day-to-days. It operates on months and years, and weeks, months, and years. So if we miss a meal or if we eat like shit one day, awesome. That day's in the bank. That shouldn't affect tomorrow. You know, when I write nutrition programs for people, I make it very clear. This is not an accumulation of day to day. This is not what I eat today has to be made up tomorrow. Once that day ends, that day is done.
You reset the clock, yeah.
Restart, man. If you hit, I have one client's got on his heavy training days or training weeks, it's close to like 5,000 calories. And he's not a huge dude. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be very tasking. Mm-hmm. So the concept behind it is day to day. You know, tomorrow shuts off, go to the next day. Tomorrow shuts off, that day shuts off, go to the next day. Because if we can hit higher caloric intake, higher carbs, better training, nutrition on a better regular volume, a consistent volume, even if we don't hit our mark, we're still better than we were. And then we build this system that's continuously used to pushing itself, and we build the habits through intentional action. There's no such thing as I start it and I finish it and I'm perfect all the way through. The concept is we're going to fail. The whole fucking system's built in order to find it. Mm-hmm. I want to find where you break. So I built this on purpose to break you. So if you fail, we're doing it correctly. And we're finding failure on purpose to constantly live on that edge. And if we're constantly living on the edge starts to move away from us. And it becomes easy to live there. We've created a whole new set of standards for ourselves. But if you lie to yourself, you're so far away from your potential growth area, which is the edge of your current capability, that it will shrink to you.
That's true.
Then all of a sudden you have this baseline that's moving backwards. And you're, well, you know, it's okay to have a heart attack at 60 because that's what happens when you're old. Yeah. Absolutely not. That is not okay. You chose that lifestyle. You chose to sit and let the boundaries come to you as opposed to going and finding them and moving them back. So no, I think the lie is so detrimental, but the issue is we don't feel the repercussions of the lies till 20 years down the road.
Yeah. Well, and I think I realized how impactful being honest with myself was when I looked at my month of January, and I'm pretty sure I had like 3 or 4 work trips. We had a couple, like a personal trip in there too. I mean, I traveled, I think 4 or 5 times during the earlier part of this year. And if I had not packed food for myself during each of those trips, my entire month of January, I probably would have gained 3 pounds. Just because I would have been eating what was best available and not going into those situations prepared. And if I'm really serious about the goals that I have for myself and I want to look good in the photos from our wedding day, I have to make some short-term concessions. And I'm not even going to call them sacrifices, because why is eating a nutritious meal a sacrifice? I'm lucky enough to get to eat a nutritious meal and not have to take what's just available to me, because that's all I can afford.
Yeah.
You know? So I think we have to just, again, be really honest with ourselves and be honest with the goals and ask yourself, am I actually doing the right activities that are going to accumulate into the goal that I have for myself? And if so, stay consistent. You just might not be looking for the progress in the process, right? If you're looking, to lose weight and all you see is the scale staying the same, I mean, are you also gaining muscle? Are you losing inches around your waist, or your clothes looser, right? Look for the evidence that says, I'm actually doing really well and I'm making progress. I'm getting excellent sleep.
Yeah.
I'm more energetic during the day, and I don't need 5 cups of coffee to get me there. I drink 1 cup of coffee in the morning and I have energy all day. I don't lose steam at any point because I'm getting great sleep. I'm doing the right things. I eat a nutritious lunch. I eat a nutritious breakfast. I'm coming home. I'm making food that I've prepared in advance. So I remove all decision making and room for deviation from the plan, because I know my in the moment Kiley decisions are not to be trusted, right? That's when my ego is going to lie to me and tell me, oh, you've worked hard today, just make a pizza.
Yeah, you have to plan ahead in order to take that stress off your noggin. One of the coolest things is the realization, or that I've heard, is the realization that the ultimate wealthy, the people at the top, the ones that are really, really killing it, wear like the same kind of clothes every day.
Yeah.
They drive simple cars. They don't have the bandwidth to make all these off-the-cuff decisions that are burying their mental capacity.
Yep.
You only have so much brain space for decisions. That's why when you get exhausted and you haven't planned, you come home and you eat like shit. You stop at McDonald's on the way home because you didn't plan ahead.
Yep.
Those are byproducts of poor processes. And if you just become a little bit more structured with your processes, then and take accountability for your own fucking life. Like, it's not your job that's making you eat McDonald's on the way home. It's poor planning that's making you eat McDonald's on the way home. It's lack of intentional action. Everybody has, what is it, the Sunday scaries?
Yeah.
That's garbage, man. Plan ahead. Know what's coming up.
Yeah.
Give yourself a big 3.
Yeah.
Take away that angst and that anxiety. Why live with that?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah. And I can say with confidence that after you overcome some of these challenges and, you had a bad day and instead of reaching for a bottle of wine, you went on a walk. Promise you're going to feel much more proud of yourself for making those pivots than you would if you had woken up the next day with a wine headache and feeling like crap. And, oh, by the way, the problem still didn't go away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, give yourself a leg up, man.
Yeah.
Give yourself some help. There's no way that you're going to introduce physical activity and lack of alcohol use and pay a detrimental price for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the lie is just a lack of intentional action and the concept that you deserve something with no output. or limited output. I ask myself all the time in the gym. I operate on a scale, it's called RPE, rate of perceived exertion, because I'm not a professional athlete and I have a job outside of training and a life, and there are factors and stimulus that affect my ability to perform in the gym. So I need to take account for that. So operating on an RPE scale says today an 8 might be a 5 tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So as long as I'm getting in the range of RPE, I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. And based on this RPE scale, I think if we started giving ourselves an RPE for the day and saying, did I really hit an 8 today? Did I really hit a 9? Like, I might have gotten a lot done, but was I in like a flow state so it really felt like a 2?
Ooh,
awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just kill it. Sometimes things just happen,
Yeah.
You're just killing it. You're operating the way you're supposed to. Well, that means you got 6 more points until you're at an 8. So you should probably hit that 8, bud. Like, maybe it's prep for the next day. Maybe you come home wired and excited. Maybe it's meal prep or playing for the rest of the week and next week.
Yeah.
Give yourself the RPE scale and everything that you do so you can be honest with yourself. I remember standing in front of the dishes the other day going, man, I worked hard today. Like, did I? Not hard enough to not do 5 minutes worth of dishes. Like, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
So you knock out the dishes and you go, okay, cool. I'm now at an RPE 8 for today.
I just have your little voice inside my head saying, don't stop moving. I remember when the first time we had the girls with us and I got to experience what it's like taking care of 3 extra humans, I was like, holy shit. Like, there's constantly dishes to do. There's constantly laundry to do. There's constantly cleaning up to do. Like, it's ongoing. Like, you can't stop. And I remember and I was just like, how the heck did you do this? Like, how did you do this when they were younger and they couldn't even help? Like, now it's actually much easier because they can put their own dishes in the dishwasher and it's much, much easier of a lift. But I just remember thinking, like, this is never ending. It's completely nonstop. And I just remember you saying, like, you just got to keep moving.
Yeah.
You just can't stop moving. If there's laundry to do, just go keep doing it.
Just knock it out.
Pull it out as soon as it's done. Keep folding. Put it away. Just don't stop until there's nothing left to do.
And the cool thing is, the more you do that, the less there is to do during the day.
Well, and you start to
become very used to it.
And you figure out how to enjoy it a little bit more. So it's like putting on music or listening to a murder podcast.
I listen to a lot of John Mayer.
I listen to a lot of murder.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Shout out to Crime Junkie.
Right. But it's the concept is, like, if you don't do it, nobody will.
Right.
And how do you want to live your life? It's plain and fucking simple, man. I knew that when I was 14 that I wanted to be a professional in some capacity in the fitness world. I knew it. But I also knew that that wasn't going to just happen for me. I didn't have the genetics. I didn't have the natural gifts that some guys and gals have. So I was going to have to earn every step. And that just kind of melted over into every portion of my life. All right, cool. If I want it, I got to work for it. Mm-hmm. I don't have a choice. Nobody's going to give it to me. So
that's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, look at how much convenience we have. It's not like we have to go out into the lake in the back and hand wash our clothing and line dry it, and like we're so spoiled with convenience that we have conditioned our brains to think that everything should be very, very easy and take no effort. And it's insane. If we were to go back like 100 years and talk to our ancestors and those who came before us with none of this convenience,
yeah,
I think their jaws would be on the floor with how things are today versus how manual everything was
I don't even think
decades
you have to go
before.
100 years. I remember my grandma laughing at me.
Oh, I know.
Saying that she literally had to move water in her house, like buckets of water to take baths.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm kind of a lazy piece of shit, aren't I? Like this woman, this 5'2" Scottish lady remembers bringing up fucking water from a well so her dad could take a bath. And it's like, oh, come on, Chris. What are we complaining about here? You know?
The water pressure's no hard enough.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. I mean, I get it. I love convenience. You know, I get annoyed when we go to a hotel and the water pressure sucks. But like, at the end of the day, I can't really be that mad because I don't have to do anything to acquire those things. They're just not at the level that I enjoy them.
Yeah. So I think, gratitude is a huge factor in all of this, and shifting from that place of, oh, I deserve it to I'm really grateful for what I actually have is a big shift that we can all continue to make. And, lying to yourself is only going to catch up at some point.
Well, it currently is. You just can't feel it.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
You lie to yourself enough, eventually you'll have a heart attack. You lie to yourself enough, eventually your liver's going to give out from alcoholism. You lie to yourself enough, you're going to get fired because you're being lazy. Just take away that variable.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you start giving yourself an RPE scale for the day and everything that you do, just even pre-setting it. I go to work, I want an RPE 6 today from work. 5 is like nominal. Just so we understand how the scale works, 1 is laying in bed. 1 is like activity 0, waking up and walking around.
Scrolling.
Yeah. RPE 10 is impossible to do more than that thing ever. Like that is 100% capacity of the system. Mm-hmm. 5 should be everyday activity, right? Yeah. 5 is the lightest of the warm-ups for my athletes. 6 is right over the top of that. 7 and 8 is where we want to land. Yeah. 7 and 8 is we're getting some fucking work done. We start doing 8.5 and 9. That's about all we want. We want to get the hell off this machine and go home or away from the weights. But if you started pre-setting your scale for RPE for your activities and then hitting it and being honest with whether or not it's actually there, I guarantee it'll change your life. Big results come from small, intentional actions.
And that's why we're taking on the 1% challenge, a simple, actionable step to get just a little bit better every day.
No excuses, just progress. Let's do it.
All right. What's the 1% challenge for today?
Start RPEing yourself. Give me one thing a day. I want RPE 6 out of my meal prep. I want RPE 6 out of my work effort today. Mm-hmm. Whatever RPE scale you want, I suggest staying 6 and 7 just because it's kind of kicking the teeth when you realize you're actually at a 4 and you think you're killing it. And just pay attention to it. Do I really feel like I've given 60, 70, 80% of myself to this task? If not, well, let's find out where 80% lives, bud, because then you'll get a lot done. Yeah. All right. So track your RPEs for a week. Yep. Let us know where you land. Yeah. Write it down, though. Write it down so you can go back and look at it. Yeah. Heck yeah. 1% challenge. Pew, 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 pew. That's a wrap for today's episode of the 1%. If you're ready to take your resilience to the next level, head to odysseyresilience.org to dive deeper into our work, access free resources, and learn how we help high performers redefine resilience. Thanks for listening. Now go get 1% better.